You really do not need to maintain this big jar of starter. Welcome back to the Dad Days. Today we are going to be discussing my current sourdough starter routine. Let's get into it. So in this video, I'm not going to be going into major in-depth discussion about how to care for, how to start, how to maintain a sourdough starter if you're a beginner, or if you're starting one from scratch and you've never had one. But I do have a video that's very detailed that goes into all the information you need to create a starter, and I'll have that linked at the end of this video, and I'll try and link it right here somewhere. Today, I'm just going to be talking about the way that I'm currently taking care of my sourdough starter. If you use sourdough or you bake sourdough bread, you know that it's a complete journey. You're always learning and growing and trying new things. And right now, this is my current routine. I wish you could smell this right now, but just look how bubbly and active this is. When you take care of it the way that I'm taking care of my starter right now, you will have the same results, I guarantee it. So what I've been doing is basically I leave my starter sitting on the counter all day, every day. I used to be a big proponent of storing your starter in the fridge and then bringing it out just when you're going to make bread, if you're making bread once a week or something like that. But what I've found is I would have to take my starter out of the fridge the day before or so that I'm going to use it, feed it, let it become active again. Whereas if I have it on the counter and it's always active, it's in a state of I can feed it heavy one day and use it that same day. I could feed it in the morning and mix up dough in the afternoon and then bake bread the next day or something. It just makes the process a little quicker. And I still store my discard in the fridge. So I'm not discarding or getting rid of starter, throwing it away, anything like that. I'm always saving my discard because I have plenty of discard recipes, whether it be biscuits or tortillas or muffins or anything that uses discard. But the way that I do it to keep it very active is I use a lot less starter than what you think you need every time. So always use a scale. It's highly recommended, very accurate. I have a link for one in the description. Just use a scale. It's so simple. I don't know what the issue is with some people not wanting to succumb to a scale. But you really only need 10 grams of starter when you feed your starter. 10 grams, that's it. I'll show you exactly what 10 grams looks like. Technically, I'm going to do a hair above 10 grams because I'm going to have to put it back into this container, and I don't have any other clean containers right now. Even this right here in this little clear ramekin, that's 16 grams. You only need 10 grams to feed your starter and have a beautifully active starter. So the rest of this is just gonna go right into my discard container. So I'm just gonna scrape this out as much as I can right into my discard container. That's as clean as I can get it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Normally, I would take this 10 grams of starter and put it right into a clean container, but I don't have any more. I like to use these round containers, and all my other ones are dirty right now. You don't have to, but I'm just gonna give my discard a little stir with that new discard that's in there. That's it. This container barely ever gets cleaned. It should be cleaned more than it is, but this goes right back into the fridge. Okay, so then you take your 10 grams of starter, put your container on the scale first, then turn it on, then it's already zeroed out. Plop in 10 grams of starter. I'm going to use, again, this is another thing that's different recently. I used to like to use more than all-purpose flour. I would get creative and use different types of wheat flours and such, but it just seemed like they were never super active, and I always had personally more luck with the whiter the flour that I would use. I know a lot of people really like to use wheat flours and make their wheat starters and everything, but I found Ashley Turner from Turner Farm. You can look her up on Instagram or YouTube. She says a similar thing. Her starter or her sourdough, she offers sourdough programs and whatever classes. She's amazing, so definitely check her out. But she says the same thing, that the gluten structure in the white flours just produce such a better starter, much more active and bubbly. And then if you use that as your base starter, you always have an active white starter. That's like your base. And then if you want to use some of it to create a levain of a wheat flour or something, you can do that, but keep your base starter with like an all-purpose or a bread flour that you're having good luck with, because it just stays so much more active. So you take your 10 grams of starter and you do 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water, give it a stir, but that's it. That's all you need to do every single day. You just feed your starter, 50 grams water, 50 grams flour, all-purpose flour, and discard the rest into your discard container, 10 grams of starter, and it's always active. You're good for another day. So here's what you would need to do. Say you want to make bread tomorrow, the next day. Instead of only 50 grams water, 50 grams flour, you'd probably do 75 grams each or 100 grams each. You'd build it up a little bit so it's ready the next day, so you have the volume that you need. But on a day-to-day basis, you don't need to, you could probably even get away with doing less than that if you wanted to. You really do not need to maintain this big jar of starter. It's just not necessary. And I always have a surplus of discard in the fridge that lasts for months and months and months, years probably, in the fridge, refrigerated. You can use a cup of it here and there for discard recipes and use your active starter for making your bread. So this lid, a container like this is perfect. You can just literally just like lay the lid on the top if you want. This one's cracked. It's old, it has a crack in it. So even if I push it down tight, it's not even close to being airtight. It works totally fine. So anything like that is great. Again, if you want to see a lot of detail, making a starter from step 1 to complete, from scratch, I have a video for that. It's linked at the end. Check it out. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, stay tuned to more Dad Days.